if you're a high school basketball player that wants to earn more playing time, one of the best ways to do that is by earning more trust from your coach. And one of the simplest ways to earn more trust from your coach is by cutting down on turnovers. So today, I'm going to share a simple habit that will help you to cut down on those unnecessary turnovers. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Hard Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So speaking of coaches, I ran into a longtime coaching friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. He was getting ready for a youth camp in his gym, and we were just kind of walking around talking. And I was asking him about how his last season wrapped up. And turns out, he had a decent season. They entered the final game of the regular season with a chance to make the playoffs. And if they won the game, they were in. If they lost the game, they were out. Okay? And so he goes on to tell me in detail how this game came down to the final moments and a mistake that one of his players made that was very avoidable, that caused a turnover and cost them the game. Okay, they happened to be up by 1 point. I'll describe the turnover in detail, but this is a mistake that a lot of players make. And you, on your journey to becoming a really high IQ player, I don't want you to make this mental error or have this bad habit in your game. I want you to develop a good game and be one of those high IQ players that just avoids these really unnecessary turnovers that drive coaches crazy and can cost you playing time and cost your team, a game, or in this case, it cost them a chance to play in the playoffs. Before I tell you exactly how that player turned over the ball, I want to ask a favor of you. I want you to leave a comment below just letting me know. I know I have a wide variety of folks that watch this channel and learn from the lessons that I try and teach here. Let me know who you are. Are you a high school boys player? Are you a high school girls player? I coached a long time in the girls and women's game, and so I know I might have a lot of high school girls players out there as well. Are you a coach? Are you a parent? Are you somebody that's just interested in the game? And maybe, how have I helped? And what would you like to see going forward? If you can leave a comment below, I'd just like to get an idea of who you are and how I can help you become a better basketball player. So what is this mistake that this player made that I'm sure his player felt horrible after this game that they made the mistake, but unfortunately this is a bad habit that far too many players get into. So this player goes and dribbles up the sideline. Okay, it's the closing, moments of the game. They dribble up the sideline and they get trapped on the sideline. Okay, they can't get out of the trap and they get a 5-second call. This turns over the ball. The other team gets a possession. They score. They win. And unfortunately, my friend's team and this poor player who had this habit, this bad habit, maybe didn't have a great knowledge of this was going to happen. They lost the game. They lost their season. The season was over. No playoffs. Okay? And so my friend was kind of describing this, this agony for this player, for the team, for himself that happened at the end of their season to close out their season. And I realized I don't think I've done an episode where we talk about this very avoidable, all these avoidable turnovers that players tend to have. And I see it at every level. You see it at the high school level. You see it at the college level. And even at the professional level, in professional games, you see these same mistakes. So what is this mistake? Well, how many times have you, like this player, dribbled up the sideline and maybe got nudged out of bounds by a defensive player? The referee didn't make a call. Or how many times have you driven baseline and stepped on the baseline? How many times have you crossed half court with your dribble and picked up the dribble and become trapped at the half court mark? How many times in the half court, in avoiding pressure, have you gotten back into kind of that half court corner and gotten trapped or turned the ball over or stepped on the half court line, whatever the case might be? These are all really avoidable turnovers. So how can you make a good habit out of maybe something that you have had as a bad habit? Well, the first thing to do is the knowledge that these are danger zones on the court. Dribbling up the sideline, picking up your dribble across the half court line, getting close to the half court line, driving baseline too close to the baseline. These are very avoidable turnovers, and these are danger zones on the court. So what I want to do is give you a visual image of how most average players view the basketball court, and then as a high IQ player, how you should view a basketball court. So this image here, this is how the average player views a basketball court. Sure, there's a sideline, there's a baseline, there's a half court line, there's all these boundaries that we might know, hey, we shouldn't cross them, we shouldn't touch them, we might get nudged out of bounds, whatever the case might be. These are danger zones. But here, this second image here is how a high IQ player views the basketball court. They see the danger zones. And I want you to look at this image and realize, this is like a construction zone, right? Where they say hard hat area, because there's some dangerous things that can happen in these areas of the court. And you notice it's probably, 2 to 3 feet in all along the sideline, the baseline, the half court line. Because these are areas that, one, you shouldn't dribble the ball to and get into that danger zone. But if you find yourself in one of these danger zones, you need to get out of them pretty quickly, right? Because these are not great places to be on the basketball court. These are like construction danger zones. So you as a high IQ player, when you look at the basketball court, you should have this image in your mind. And this is why I wanted to give you kind of some imagery to think of. You should have this image of your mind of the danger zones on the basketball court so that you stay out of them. Okay, so that you avoid these just turnovers that don't need to happen. Okay, they're unforced, they're unnecessary, and if you can start taking those out of your game, well, all of a sudden you start turning over the ball a little less. Okay, it's not going to eliminate all your turnovers, but it's going to eliminate a good portion of them because you see them across all levels happening. Okay, and then your coach is going to get a little more trust in you. And the more your coach trusts you, the more you get in the game, the more you get to play, the more you get to be on the winning side of those, kind of games that I told you the story of my coaching friend and his team. Okay? And that's what I want for you. I want you to be one of those smart, high IQ players that coaches love. So that's your tip for today. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, leave a comment below and let me know who you are and how maybe I've helped in the past or maybe today's helped. And until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.